Okay. Hi, buddy. So, Freckles has had a scheduled appointment with Dr. Willow, who was down south all winter. She just popped up here to do some clients that need to be done, like me. And so Freckles had a scheduled appointment to have his left leg that was injured last year. So he's had all this time off since the summer. So I wanted to have him re-examined to see how it was healing and just kind of have a look. I was being really optimistic that I could start getting him conditioned again, but I wanted to make sure that you need a close-up. I wanted to make sure that everything was okay before we started. I know it's kind of pulling on you. I'm sorry. It's a lot of tape. Okay. Where was I? I got distracted. Yes, James, I'm taking your blankie off. So anyways, I wanted him checked over to see if I could start conditioning him to see where his healing is at. So we flexed him. She felt all around, and we did some comparisons to his old x-ray that we had from before, and he has good. Oh my gosh, Freckles, stop. Sorry, that was totally Freckles. Yep. You know what that's all about? Is he wants to go in through the fence. See that? See how he's doing that? He's like, I will just let myself into the yard. Thank you very much. Not you, though. I need to take your blankie off. Give me a second. Oh my gosh. Can you see him? So much shenanigans. Let me take your blankie off, and then you can go into the yard. Gosh. Good news, bad news. His original injury is healing. So that is coming along. Bad news is his fetlock is upset and a little grumpy and angry. Had a lot of fluid in it, a lot of heat in it. Whether that is from compensating or I don't know. You could imagine anything up. So we go ahead, go in here. They just like to go into the yard. So we injected his fetlock, and with a steroid only, because now the problem is that he can't be feeling so good that he's going to run around, because he's not allowed to. He hasn't been allowed to this whole time. So he can't be feeling so good that he's going to run around and slow the healing down. But we need to address the fetlock. So it was like, be careful of healing the original injury and healing the fetlock that's upset about the injury. So we went with a steroid. And the steroid is an anti-inflammatory drug, which will bring down the inflammation inside his fetlock and help it settle down. So good news, bad news. He's still going to be off. I'm not allowed to work him. He's not allowed to be in a big pen. This pen is actually too big for him. He's supposed to be in like a tiny, tiny pen. Not allowed to move around on it, which I will be addressing today. I'll be working on this. And we re-examine him in a month. James, because he's been sore, I always forget where I post things. I post things on Facebook a lot, like our day-to-day, everything I'm doing with our horses every single day kind of hits Facebook right away. And then I forget if I post it to YouTube or not. But James was really sore. He had a slip or a tweak of something, and he's just walking like a old man, crippled old man. No like obvious injury. I had brought him up initially with me to Cam Vet, and Dr. Isabel had examined him to make sure he wasn't colicking at that time, because with Silver I was so freaked out that James was colicking. So I brought him up to make sure there was no emergency happening, and we ruled out any emergencies. So he had just done something, slipped or stepped funny or did something that made him muscle sore. So I had brought him with me to go see Dr. Willow. She did a full exam on him, and we've narrowed it down into his hips, into his quarters, because we had thought maybe his psoas muscle that kind of runs underneath and attaches up into their hip SI joint area. I thought maybe he had done something to that or to his pelvis, because before it's been beautiful like this. Today it was icy and miserable out, and so if he had slipped and injured his pelvis or something in his quarters, it could have been really bad. So we flexed out, we stretched out his hindquarters. Aside from being muscle sore, it didn't seem like he had any torn muscles in there. It didn't seem like he has a fracture in his pelvis. The only thing else we could have done was go internally and ultrasound him to check to see if we could see his pelvis, anything wrong with it. But she didn't feel like we needed to do that, so we just think he just did something. Like I'm at that age where I could sleep funny in bed and wake up totally wrecked the next day. So he did something that's making him incredibly sore. So he's in the small pen with Freckles, limited movement. He is on a muscle relaxer every single day, and that's going to be our plan for until Willow's back. She's back from the States in a month, and she'll have her practice again up here. So our plan is both my boys will be on this program until she's back in a month, and either James, his muscles will start feeling better before then, but if he's not responding to the muscle relaxer and the small pen and limited movement, by the time she's back, we'll go ahead and check his SI joint and his pelvis just to make sure he didn't do anything big time that we need to inject or need to really kind of care for a little bit harder. Gosh, I don't know. It's been like insane. 2025 has been insane for us with the horses. We have behind the scenes some really cool, crazy, big things happening that I have not even announced yet, because it's kind of like, wow, that's really happening. It's cool news. And then I have this stuff going on that it's like, wow, this is a lot of life lessons going on in one shot here. So I spent these last few days just trying to be quiet, let my body, my own self, my own nervous system, my own, emotions and mental game just have some time to recover from this extreme chaos that's been happening. So I feel better today. I feel a little less stressed out today. My anxiety level has come down quite a bit. And I'm really just trying to focus on still going forward in a positive manner. We really believe in manifestation and the power of what you think about, your power of your thoughts and your words. And I try not to get sucked into the why is this happening to me, because I know on a larger scale this is just a lesson of some sort, or it's redirecting us in some manner that doesn't make sense to me at this moment. So hindsight's always 2020. Eventually, someday in the future, we'll be like, oh yeah, all of that happened so that we could get to this point, you know? Anyways, I'm supposed to be helping Jordan. He's waiting for me. So yeah, this is our day.